Hey everybody, it's John here, National Sports Entertainment, and I just wanted to go into a couple of games tonight. So, for everybody that did hit on Tennessee, congratulations. This one, and we can go into recaps later, but this one's just one of the example of, in my opinion, them really wanting to make Hooker look good. He was composed again. I mean, he's just a quarterback that it seems like he could do it with his eyes closed, and that's what the NFL wants. They want these kind of guys. So, Hooker, I would not be surprised if he won next week, too. It looks like he's the best guy to come out of Tennessee since Peyton, and I think that's not a coincidence. So, everyone that got that, congratulations. TCU we liked. I took TCU minus the 7, so I drew on this one. I'm sure a lot of people drew. I'm sure some people, if you took the Kansas with the 7, and maybe I know a few took them with the 7.5, so that's good. But I liked TCU here. I didn't think Kansas was going to win. Like I said, that Cinderella story, there's no payoff for it. If you in my other video, if you look at their schedule, there's no Alabama coming up. There's no Clemson. So there's no Cinderella, David versus Goliath story. That narrative had to die today, and it did. So I drew this. I was going to buy the whole point, and then I said I'll just do a half a point. And, of course, sometimes that half a point does matter. So as you can see, we have a few outstanding bets here. I did do a first sequence bet on the over on Georgia because we won our first sequences, so I didn't need to double up that. But it's looking like the over is not going to hit, so I will be doubling that up. And, of course, we have our Mets game that they won't get swept. And tomorrow we got the Packers and a few more. So for today, I was looking at the games for tonight, and there's a few I like. Around 7 o'clock, believe it or not, there's not a bunch of games that jump out at me. The game I like here is this one. And I do like James Madison. The reason for this being, I think a lot of money is going to be on the spread here. Arkansas State to cover 11.5. James Madison is one of those teams that in prior years, now some years they've only played a couple games, but in prior years they have finished with a pretty good record against the spread. They're just one of those teams that always seems to do well. So if you look this year, we only have 2 undefeated against the, not 2, we got 5 undefeated against the spread teams left, and 4 of them are playing each other. Well, they already did. Kansas played Texas Christian, so they were both undefeated. And Arkansas State is playing James Madison here. So between the fact that James Madison has done good previously and the fact that, as we saw, 2 of our games today that we picked, they prevented a game from starting, or between today and yesterday, we picked games. So we didn't think Colorado State was going to start 0-6, and we didn't think today, at least I didn't, Kansas was going to start 6-0. So it sounds like small logic, but I do think there's a better chance that Madison starts 5-0 than Arkansas State starting 6-0 against the spread. And James Madison is one of those schools that nobody ever picks, it seems like, and they have a pretty good program. So I can definitely see the majority of money here going on Arkansas State with that spread. So here what we're going to do, this is going to be a first betting sequence. Should we need to, we can do a double-up game. But like I said, we got a win with Tennessee, and we got a draw with TCU. Some people might have won that one. So we're going to take the 11.5, James Madison. We could think about buying here, but I'm just going to leave this alone. This is to win 25, and we're going to place that bet. And again, the reason I like James Madison is nothing crazy. It's the fact that starting 6-0 against the spread, very, very rare. And I'm looking at the public money on that one. Now, this is one they can mess with a lot more than other games. Not a lot of people are going to be watching this. Also, I find it interesting it's on NFL Network. I look at these players, and Centeo is the only one that they could really push, make him look strong. in general, James Madison has more players that I think they would want to push than Arkansas State. Arkansas State's doing pretty good, but I looked through their roster. I didn't see that many people compared to James Madison that are high in the rankings. So yes, I do like them there for to cover that 11.5. And as you can see, this one was a draw. So even, we get our money back, just like blackjack or anything else. So it was 24. Even, we got that back. And that's why we're starting a new bet for James Madison. It's not going to be part of this one because we drew that. And we got James Madison minus 11.5. So I think this one looks like a trap for sure. A lot of people are going to see James Madison on the road and not as good of a record. And I think they take Arkansas State with the points. This one we will most likely be adding a second leg to, but we never know when if it's going to come around. And this one was our second leg of Colorado State from last night. Like I had said, I really liked Hooker in this game. It just made sense. So this one's a win. And we netted 50 on this one. So the way that works is, if you haven't seen before, it's a total of plus 25 because we lost our first bet and we won our second one. Sorry for the monotonous things. I just am trying to show people that haven't seen this before. Here is still outstanding, as is this one. And of course, again, TCU drew. So we are waiting on, at least I am, James Madison tonight. And we're certainly waiting on the Mets game. The Mets one's an important one. Again, I don't think the Mets get swept at home. And if they do, I am just going to double up on the next team that the Padres play. And one last thing, because I didn't want to just, I figured you guys can get everything you need now. So, if James Madison doesn't come through, even if they do, my last pick of the night is going to be the Stanford game. I do think Stanford moves off of 0-5 against the spread, and I think they cover this spread here at home. It's a late game. The Oregon State, I like Stanford. Not too much analytics outside of they're at home. I think they move off 0-4 against the spread, and I don't think Oregon State moves to 5-1 against it. So this is going to be likely a double up if our first game doesn't go through. That first game being James Madison or the Georgia over, if you pick that like I did. But I do like another one I like, and again, this one's not a giant one. I might do a small first bet on this one. I do like Fresno State to cover. Another team has yet to win against the spread. A very important metric. When you pick two teams, very good odds, one of them will hit, and there's still good odds both hit. So if you want to do Fresno State, and if it's not looking good, double up on Stanford, however you want to play it. But I do like Fresno State and Stanford, just getting that in there. So anybody that wanted to pick some later games, that is who I would pick. To be honest, looking at these, there's nothing jumping out at me. The only thing I can say is I would recommend, again, if somebody was picking, if I had to pick, I'd go Iowa State here and over Kansas State. Iowa State's basically getting even money. I pick them just because I think they need to win at home for that crowd. You start losing the crowd when it's in college, and it's hard to get them back. Just ask USC. So I think Iowa State does a good job here and covers that spread, gets the win. So yeah, I'm not going to be picking the Iowa State game, just to let you guys know. But if somebody really wanted to watch a game and pick it, I like Iowa State. My money's on James Madison to cover, and should they not, likely will be doubling up on Fresno State. So you guys take care, happy earnings, and again, if there's a specific game you do want me to talk about, please just let me know, and I'll definitely do my best to research that. But congratulations to everybody that hit today, and we'll hopefully have even a better night, and I'm really looking forward to tomorrow because I think we start off strong and finish even stronger. Take care.